What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So recently Aroma Concepts sent me the new North Stag Expressions collection for Paris Corner, and 3 out of the 4 really impressed me. I'm not saying the LV Imagination clone isn't good. The other 3 are just that good to me. And one of my favorites, possibly my favorite, is Deux. And Deux is a clone of Parfums de Marly Layton. And a damn good one at that. So, like I said, Aroma Concepts sent this my way. It has no effect on what I'm going to say about the fragrance. I do really like the fragrance. Spoiler alert, it's a very positive review. So we're going to dive into this and talk about just how accurate it is and what kind of nuances and performance I get from it. So stay tuned. So first things first, we'll take a quick look at the bottle. I did get rid of the box. They have very nice boxes. But I really like the bottle style here. It's very transparent, like not quite black, almost like smoke color. The light's not doing it justice. The only thing I don't like is this mirrored, cheap-looking jewel in the cap. Holds strongly into place and everything. It's a well-built bottle, and it does have a good atomizer. It does a really good job. And then on the back side of the bottle, you do have this label. Shows North Stag Expression. Pretty detailed, I have to say. And on the front, same thing. Number 2, Deux. Just 2 in French. But nice presentation and everything. But what's more important is that scent, so let's discuss it. So when this opens up, no denying, this is Layton. Very, very close. Has that mentholic Vicks Vapor Rub geranium smell in the top with loads of pepper and cardamom and apple. Spicy, fruity smell. Super, super like gelatin-like menthol, minty. That's why I say Vicks Vapor Rub. Ever since the first time I heard that a few years ago and smelled Layton, I was like, oof, it does smell like that. And it's stuck with me ever since. But this fragrance replicates it very well. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say it's the absolute king of all kings when it comes to replicating Layton. It's one of. Most of them are really good. The Detour Noir, Amber Oud Exclusive Blue Edition, Royal Equestrian, insert name here. There's a lot of really good ones out there, and this is up in the higher tier for me personally of the ones I've tried. Probably my favorite, just being honest. Maybe it's flavor of the month because it's the one I'm wearing. I don't know, but it's damn good. It's very accurate. It's not overdone in woods like Detour Noir from Mount Harriman. That's a more woody take, kind of a cross between Layton Exclusive meets Layton. It's more Layton with added kind of dry oud wood. It's good. A lot of people talk about Detour Noir, and like I said, Amber Oud Exclusive Blue Edition. That's 2 different ones from Mount Harriman. They're both really good, but I really like this interpretation. Paris Corner's really stepped their game up in the last year or so. They've put a lot of good stuff out, and this entire collection it's been pretty impressive to me, with this probably being the most impressive because I'm a huge fan of this scent profile, as is my wife. It knocks down the potency, which we'll discuss performance in a little bit, but the development's very similar. Like I said in the opening, I get that Vicks Vapor Rub menthol smell, spiced apple, and then it starts to settle into this woodsy vanilla. Very thick vanilla that's not really all that powdery. I do get a little bit of powder from this, but not so much. Very warm, ambery, spicy woods with a bit of this thick vanilla that's not too sweet of a vanilla. It's more of a dry vanilla than anything else, and the spices stay throughout. Because even though your cardamom and your pepper are listed in the base, I get them from opening blast with geranium and apple is mainly what it is. So it develops very, very similar to the original. So that's why I say, I don't know, maybe it's the bias of flavor of the month because it's what I'm wearing currently. But the other ones I have don't give me the exact same feeling to where it feels this accurate. Like I would put a label of 90 to 95% accurate on here just to be modest because I'm not going to call it a 1-to-1 carbon copy because, I mean, there's slight quality differences and things like that. But I mean, it's about as close as you're going to get, in my personal opinion. And that alone makes it worth checking out if you don't want to spend Layton money. This is probably the best option that I've come across. Now as far as performance, this is a loud fragrance at first. This stuff screams off of my skin. it takes about 2 to 3 hours to calm down. It lasts every bit of 9 or 10 hours on skin, so we can safely call it 8 to 10 hours of longevity. Projections in the 2 to 3 hour range for me. It does not calm down for a long time, and even then it's more of a moderate than it is moderate to mild sillage, where I get pretty stout whiffs, but it does eventually, like I would say in that last 3 hours or so, it's on the moderate to mild side, where I might get a light whiff once in a while. It's not as noticeable and as detectable. It could be some olfactive fatigue, but that's pretty much what it's been consistently since I started spending time with it. So across the board, it's like pretty beastly projection early on with well above average. I wouldn't call it a beast in longevity, but it's definitely up there with really long lasting. And then the sillage is in that, really strong territory is what we'll call it, because it starts off really strong and it continues to weaken as the lifespan goes on, as with all fragrances. But across the board, it's potent stuff. So final thoughts on Deux in the North Stag Expressions collection from Paris Corner. I think, like I stated already once in this video, I think this is my favorite cologne of Layton now. Again, it could be, like I said, the bias of it's the current thing. It's the new flavor of the month for me, but it really gives me the same feeling of the original, which is hard for a clone to capture. Again, slight quality differences here, but it gets really close to capturing the same essence and feeling and vibe for me as the original, to where it's almost like I don't even realize I'm wearing a Paris Corner version of a fragrance. It's almost like wearing the real deal. And you don't hear me say, I don't recall ever really stating that about other fragrances. It's rare. So that's what I say. It's very accurate. And for that warrants a really high grade. I think this is a 9 out of 10. This is an outstanding clone. This is one of the better clones I've gotten. This is probably one. So the ones I love the most in 2023, because we're in January 2024, I talked about all throughout the year. And this is probably going to be one of those that goes in that little pile of clone fragrances that I go back to referencing throughout the year because I just really enjoy and keep going back to myself. So this is going to be one that goes in the pile for 2024 as probably one of the clones I recommend the most this year because it does justice to the real deal. That's my thoughts and feelings on Deux in the North Stag Expressions collection with Paris Corner. Thank you once again to Aroma Concepts for sending the entire line to me, all four, because I'm impressed. Like, it's not too often you'll see me do, like, I'll get a package from Aroma Concepts and I end up doing a full review on every fragrance. That, I just kind of pick my favorites of the bunch and I'll do reviews on those, whereas I think I'm going to review all four of these. Definitely 3 of the 4 for sure, because I really, really like 3 of the 4. This is now the second one of the 3 that I'm definitely going to review. I just reviewed the Tiger clone a few days ago because I'm loving these. I'm enjoying spending time with them, and I would encourage you to check them out yourself if they interest you. And until next time, do me a real quick favor. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. So I do appreciate all the feedback and I love hearing from you guys. How many of you have tried this already? Do you have a similar assessment? Is it not as good for you? Everybody's going to feel differently. Some will align with what I think. Some will not. Some will fall somewhere in between. It's just what it is. It's a very subjective thing. It's an art form. It's perfumery. We are the variable. Our skin, our nose, all the perceptions and chemistries that come along with that. We are the variable. So blind buy at your own risk, guys. I'm not encouraging you to blind buy. I know you can't just get a sample of this one, but make sure as best you can that it's what you want to do before you do it. And until next time, I will say if you get your hands on Paris Corner's North Stag Deux and you give it a spray now, pretty confident you'll thank me later. Have a good one, guys.